I have about 105 pounds of pork butts that I need to get cooking. We are firing up the offset stick burner today and getting all these bad boys on there. I'm gonna show you how I cook 100+ pounds of pork butt. Let's go. Let's jump right into it. I have 12 pork butts here. These average about 8.5 pounds. They're anywhere from 8 to 10 across the board, right at about 105 pounds. The only thing I do to these, I don't sit here and try to trim these up. I just season them and get them on the grill. If you spend that much time trimming when you have a bulk cook like this, it's just gonna really bog down production. So we wanna get these seasoned up and on the grill as quick as possible. I'm gonna move a couple of these out of the way just so I could show you how I season them, and then we'll get these on. So I'm starting all of these, if you could see, with the meat side facing up, fat cap on the bottom, because when I cook these, I cook them cap side up. So I'm gonna hit these with some seasoning, give them a flip, do all the sides, and let it set up. Let's show you how I season these real quick. I'm gonna hit it with your favorite pork rub. Today I'm using Pork Mafia's Memphis Mud. This stuff gives a great color, great flavor. Let's hit these up with some seasoning. That's the meat side up season. We're gonna flip these over, hit all the sides. Really wanna hit these with a lot of seasoning. Big dense meat, you're only seasoning the outside. We're gonna throw some seasoning in after we shred it. We'll show you that in a bit. But let's flip these, get these seasoned all over, and we'll show you what it looks like when we're done. We have our pork butts seasoned up. These look and smell amazing already. Let's talk about how we're gonna run that stick burner today. I like starting it up with a chimney of old charcoal that I pull out of my Weber Smoky Mountain or my Weber kettle. Get that lit up, get a nice flame going through there. Dump that out, add a couple sticks of wood, really get that fire going, get a good coal bed going, get another piece of wood on here, really get that fire going, get this smoker heated through. We're gonna try to run this between 250 to 300 today. So now that we got that fired up, grill is up to temp, we gotta squeeze all these bad boys onto that smoker. So let's get over there, get these on. The cooker is exactly where we want it. We're between 250 and 280, depending on what side of the grill you're on, which is fine. That's gonna level out once we get all this meat onto the grill. So let's get this beast loaded up. This over here is the firebox side. I do have a piece of wood on here to kind of act as a heat deflector. Let's go ahead and get some pork butts on here. Putting a couple of the bigger ones closer to the fire. These are gonna be able to take a little bit more heat since they're bigger. I'm gonna keep those there. And I wanna keep at least a little bit in between each, so there's no touching, no bald marks from the smoke. That'll give nice color and even cook. Grill's loaded, let's shut her down, and then we're just gonna keep feeding it logs, one every 45 minutes or so. We'll go through that process a little bit, but it's pretty repetitive. Again, once every 45 minutes, and this is gonna be probably a 10, 11 hour cook. We'll be back when it's time to do something else. We're right at 3 hours in on this cook. Let's go open it up, take a look, see if we need to do any rotating or anything, and just see how we're doing right now. Again, right at 3 hours. This is the firebox side, so this side's gonna be hotter, and you can definitely see the color difference between the side that's closer to the firebox as opposed to the side that's opposite the firebox. So in order to get this to be an even cook, I'm gonna move these over here and put these over here. Let's do it. Now let's check the bottom. And just like the top rack, we're seeing similar where this is darker, looking like it's cooking a little bit quicker than this side. So I'm gonna rotate these and these, trying to keep that cook nice and even. Again, make sure nothing's touching. And while I have this open, I'm gonna give it a quick spritz of water. All spritzed up, let's shut her back down. Now these pork butts are looking and smelling amazing. We're gonna let this run another 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours. Come back, start checking internal temperature, color, and it might be time to start wrapping them. We'll be back in a couple hours. We're roughly 7 hours in on these pork butts. We're reading internally between 150 and 160. Time to go take a look. If these got the color that we want, we're gonna wrap them. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You can tell that these have a really nice color on them. Got the temp probe, that's what's been telling me my internal and ambient temperatures. But look at how gorgeous the color on these are. These are perfect. It's time to go wrap. Let's head over to the table. I have 24 sheets of aluminum foil. We have 12 pork butts. Each one of those pork butts is going to get wrapped in a double layer of foil. Let's go wrap these up. Now when I wrap them, get this out of the way here. Got 2 sheets of foil here. Try to square this up. Go over. And I roll this up, trying to keep that fat side pointed up. And then we just close this off to try to prevent any liquids from coming out. Gonna put our probe back in, get this back on the grill. All wrapped up, don't know what to do. Let's get this pushed back in. Back to cooking. These are wrapped up. That's going to help push it through the stall, get it up to our target. We're shooting for about 195 to 205 in that range. That's when it's going to be probe tender. So we're going to keep an eye on the temps. I'm going to increase the temp of the smoker right now because these are wrapped. They're a lot safer than they were when they were exposed. The increased temp is going to help push this along quicker. Again, we're about 7 hours in, hoping to get this done by 10 hours, three more hours maybe. Shut down, let's get it cooking. We're at about 8.5 hours in. I started checking the internal temps. Got 4 of these done. They were temping anywhere between 195 and 210, depending on which ones were closer to the fire. That temp probe was going in like a hot knife through butter, so I know these are ready to go in for the rest. These are gonna stay wrapped in foil and they're going in my insulated cooler here. So now it's time for the most important part of the cook. We gotta let this rest in the cooler. We're gonna let them rest for about maybe 4 hours. Let all those juices redistribute. And as the rest of these start coming off, we're gonna pop them in here as well and let it rest several hours. So we'll be back in a few hours after this pan has rested and we'll shred them and show you how we finish it up. Be back in a few hours. Alrighty, we are in the home stretch. This is it. These have been resting for 4 hours. I have 4 pork butts here. These are the ones that were the first 4 off the grill. All the other ones came off within the next hour. These have been resting for about 4 hours. Let's rip these open and show you how we tear them apart and make our awesome pulled pork. And now you might get some of those juices leaking out into the pan, but that's why we rested it in a pan. We're gonna save these juices, and when we shred this is gonna integrate back in. Look at this thing, just gorgeous. And even better, look at that, clean bone. Start shredding. It is so tender, and it really helps that you did that long rest. So let's get the rest in here, shred this all up, because there's still one more step to making this even more amazing. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm gauging how much liquid is in there. I don't want the pork to be swimming in juices. So this next one, I'm just gonna leave the juice in the bag. Now just give this a good shred until it gets to the consistency that you like. I like this pretty integrated. You get big chunks like this, just go ahead, pull them out. Now I mentioned one last key step here. I'm gonna throw some seasoning back on top of this. And we're just hitting it with that Memphis Mud again. Get this nice and seasoned up. This is gonna add all that flavor. You do get flavor from that bark seasoning, but it's a big hunk of meat. All that seasoning's on the outside. Now we're putting the seasoning on the inside too. That's it. This was about 100 pounds of pork that we did. Gotta take a little pinch, quality control. Perfect. Wouldn't add any more seasoning. It just sets it over the top. I've got 8 more butts resting. I'm gonna pull them off, shred them. That's how we cook 100+ pounds of pork butt on the stick burner. I am gonna do a weight once I package everything up. I'll drop that down here so we could see what the final total was. This was about 103 pounds raw. So this number down here is the number we finished with. If you like what we did here, please hit that like, hit that subscribe button, follow me on social media. Cheers everyone, thanks for hanging around. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.